Have you ever been scrolling through your phone, minding your own business, and then, bam, you suddenly have to make a baked feta pasta? Or maybe a butterboard? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. It feels like our social media feeds have become our new cookbooks. So let's get into it and break down exactly how the algorithm is deciding what's for dinner.
And just to give you a sense of how huge this is, check out this number. A recent study found that a staggering 84% of Gen Z have actually made and tried food trends they saw on social media. That's not just a small group, that's basically an entire generation discovering what to eat through their phones.
And this really gets to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? We see these things absolutely explode online. Dalgona coffee, cloud bread, you name it. They look amazing, and it seems like everyone is making them. But is the food that goes viral actually vital? Does its popularity have anything to do with whether it's good for us? And why these specific things?
Well, to answer that, we've got to start by looking at our own brains. It turns out, our tendency to jump on these food trends isn't just about pretty pictures. It's wired deep into our basic human psychology.
It really starts with a feeling we all know: FOMO, fear of missing out. When a recipe becomes a global trend, it's not just a recipe anymore, right? It's a cultural event. Making that dish and posting about it is our ticket into the conversation. It's how we connect and prove we're part of what's happening.
And this table here breaks it down perfectly. You see that basic need to belong? Online, that turns into following viral challenges just to fit in. Our need for validation means we start picking food based on how good it'll look in a photo, not how nutritious it is. Suddenly, food isn't just fuel, it's a prop for our online identity.
Okay, so our psychology makes us vulnerable. But that's only half the story. Now we've got to talk about the technology itself, because these platforms are literally designed to serve us these trends on a silver platter.
And here is the most important thing to remember. An app like TikTok isn't a public health service. Its main goal isn't to give you solid nutrition advice. Its one and only job is to keep your eyes on the screen for as long as possible. And it does that by showing you stuff that gets a ton of likes and shares. Whether that stuff is actually true, well, that's not really in the equation.
This quote just blows my mind. In literally tens of minutes, the time it takes you to watch a handful of videos, the algorithm has already figured you out. It learns that you pause for cheesy recipes or colorful drinks, and then it just starts feeding you an endless loop of that same kind of content, creating this powerful little bubble for you.
So what happens when you take our human desire to follow trends and you mix it with a powerful algorithm that's built only for engagement? Well, when it comes to something as complicated as nutrition, you get a perfect recipe for a total minefield of misinformation.
So, just how bad is it? Well, a recent analysis of nutrition content on TikTok came back with a number that is, honestly, it's shocking. They found that only about 2% of the content was actually accurate when held up against public health guidelines. 2%. I mean, just think about that. The overwhelming majority of what you see is unverified at best and dangerously wrong at worst.
And this chart really shows you why that is. Just look at who is making all this content. Half of it, fully 50%, is coming from health and wellness influencers and fitness creators. The actual credentialed experts, registered dietitians and nutritionists, they make up less than 10% of the conversation.
So what we have is this huge disconnect. On one side, you have experts posting nuanced, science-backed advice about long-term habits. But that stuff doesn't get a lot of engagement. What does go viral are the sensational, quick-fix claims based on personal stories that promise the moon. And guess which one the algorithm is going to show you?
And make no mistake, this stuff isn't harmless. All this misinformation leads to some genuinely dangerous behavior. We're talking about things like dry scooping raw pre-workout powder, promoting extreme meat-only diets, or pushing weight loss drugs without a doctor in sight. These aren't just silly fads, they have real health consequences.
And it's not just the obvious dangers. The constant stream of clean eating content and perfectly curated what I eat in a day videos can lead to disordered eating. One of the biggest concerns is something called orthorexia nervosa, which is basically an unhealthy obsession with eating healthy food. It can completely take over your life, and it's fueled by those impossibly perfect diets you see online.
Okay, so it's pretty clear that our feeds are flooded with bad advice, but that doesn't mean we have to log off for good. The real question is, how do you navigate all this and still make smart, safe choices for yourself? Let's walk through a few simple steps. The absolute first step is just to turn on your critical brain. I love this advice from dietitian Emily Van Eck. Before you try anything, just do a quick gut check. Does this hack or diet seem way too good to be true? Because if it does, it probably is. It's so important to just pause before you jump on the bandwagon. So, here's your simple 3-step tooltip for scrolling safer. Number 1, verify who's talking. Is this person an actual registered dietitian? Look for the credentials. 2, cross-check what they're saying. Can you find the same info on a website for a major health organization? And 3, just engage mindfully. Don't let FOMO or fear push you into anything. Your actual health is way more important than a fleeting trend.
So, we'll leave you with this question. The digital world has completely changed how we think about food. It's inspiring, sure, but it's also a minefield. The next time you see a meal blowing up your feed, just take a second to ask yourself, who's really setting the table here? Is it a qualified expert, or is it just the algorithm?